Here we are flying out the F-104S, and this thing finally got above after getting nerfed countless times. It just got 6 A9Js. It's at 10.3 right now, but I'm guessing this will go up very soon, so I will make it so that this video is mostly applicable even when it's at 11.0. I will have an exception here, 7 kill game at the end, but say you're watching this a few months later and you're wondering how to fly this thing at 11.0, well, here's your video. For the loadout, I run 30 minutes, I run the 6 AIM-9Js because I really just like having a Vulcan. And that's exactly why. The Vulcan is insanely good, especially in head-ons, especially in these deflections. It's an extremely good gun. Use it. The Sparrows are not worth it in my opinion. If you think 6 of these missiles is a little bit excessive, is a little bit too much, then you can also run the loadout with 2 AIM-9Js and a bomb. Do make sure to set a fuse for it, as you will be dropping the bomb after takeoff. Don't blow up your friendlies. And the pylon actually doesn't create any extra drag, and the other 4 missiles that you would have otherwise will not slow you down as much. Personally, I will still run all 6 of them, because well, it is a support fighter, not in the sense that it's a bad plane, it's a very good plane, but it's very situational, and the second someone wants you dead, especially a Phantom, he will run your ass down and you are going to die. And the main attributes here are that you're just untouchable with a team around and you can kite almost everyone around. Keep in mind, on the cold maps you go a lot faster than you do on the hot maps, and on the cold maps you can outrun the Phantoms, you are the fastest plane on the deck. On the hot maps the Phantoms will run you down and there is very little you are going to be doing about it. If you get an FGR on you, even in the head-on, if you start the merge and you start a dogfight, you are going to lose that dogfight versus an FGR, which is one of the easiest planes to win versus in a dogfight. This thing is not competitive in that regard. So I really like being fast, coming in from the side. You can super cruise almost, basically. Without the afterburner on, this thing is still rapid. It hauls ass. And use that. The burn rate is quite high, as most planes are right now. But use the fact you can go fast without the afterburner. It will vastly improve your endurance and it will make you a lot more effective in the match. You got a lot of 20mm ammo, you got 6 missiles. You can stay effective by zooming around quite long, and you need to be able to use this. This thing does not have countermeasures. You need to use your speed as a countermeasure to defeat the missiles. And this is a real reason why I focus J25s at the start, because that thing can turn around almost instantly, be 600 meters behind you out of nowhere, shoot a 9J, you can dodge it, but you have to time it almost perfectly, and if you don't, likely you are going to blow up. So these Dracons, you'll see me go for them first. They are main priority. F-104A, not the biggest threat in the world. We go head on, we crit his wing, we hit his wing, not sure what just happened, not sure how much damage that I did. But I need to make sure that we are going to win this game. And as an F5, a Draken, as well as an F-104A. And all of those guys are not the biggest threat in the world. There's also a guy unspotted, but right now I want that Draken to be dead. So I need to hit this shot if I want a chance of winning this game. So we line it up, we shoot a bit, and luckily we set him on fire and he's going to burn up almost instantaneously, and we are on our merry way. We have an F5 there, and F5s are also kind of annoying, but at least that thing is not very fast, and I'm gonna have a very lengthy fight with him in a minute, but you'll see all about that very soon. F5 right now, while he is kind of dangerous, he is not going to catch me, so the F-104 kind of takes priority right now. But I see that he is kind of going back to base, kind of flying towards the airfield. So I'm hoping that he's just not paying attention. I'm hoping that he's just flying straight. Maybe he's killing AI, maybe he's not paying attention to me. So I come in, we shoot a missile at a little bit of a longer range. I need to get these missiles off anyway, because it's slowing me down a little bit. He dodges it, and at this point the real pain starts. We're on the 6 of this guy, but it's gonna be very hard for us to get a shot on him. He's rolling around, he's rolling it properly, and I just do not have the elevator authority to get a hit in. He rolls out of the way last second. It's an F5C, not the biggest problem in the world. And here comes Draken number 2. And what he is going to do now is sit on my 6, together with the F-104 as well as the F5, and I'm the only guy in the area. So what do I want to do? Fly towards the sun. The F-104A won't catch me, the Draken won't catch me, and the F5 certainly won't catch me, but I need to get some separation in. Also keep in mind, on the hot maps, missiles will go further because the air is less dense. In turn, on this map for example, snow map, the missiles also have less range. So I'm not too worried about the Draken now, because he needs to get pretty close for him to actually shoot me down, and I'm just gonna be running on mill power towards my last teammate, because I'm gonna need a teammate right here. The Brhon on his own is already enough of a problem, and there's a F-104 right next to him. Not a chance that I'm going to take. An F-104A, and while you will completely dust his ass, he's never going to catch you. He can essentially just sit on you and you are not going to out dogfight it. You are kind of forced to just straight head-ons with it until he messes up, he shows his engine or something like that. If he's out of missiles, you can have a little bit more of a chance, but they're very annoying to fight. I wouldn't say it's a direct counter, but they can just ruin your entire game. A lot of planes can, don't get me wrong, but when I say that even an F-104A can deny you almost the entire game, you know to what degree I'm talking about it. Right now, Su-17 coming back in, and the Brhon has a little bit of altitude, so I'm gonna throttle back up, go to pick up a little bit of speed. We want to brake mag, and then we are going to start climbing. And I want to do this to force this guy slow, so that the Su-17 can start helping me out. Break off well before, break off the other way, so he has to do another 180, and then bleed some more speed, because the Brhon's energy retention is very, very bad. And I want to use that, I want to make it so that he has no ability to ever get his speed back up. And I was just waiting for him to turn again for the Su-17. I turned together with the Su-17, I'm going to start re-engaging. Brhon goes straight up, and at this point he is way too slow to dodge this missile altogether. It doesn't matter what he does, unless he goes straight head on with me, and even then he's so slow that the missile still might rear quite a lot. There we go, killed him before, and we are gonna go RTB. And the Su-17, as you might have read in the chat, is actually stock. He's not the most experienced in it, and I know that the stock Su-17 isn't going to get a lot of stuff done, so I asked him to stay alive, and that's exactly what he does. And him staying alive just long enough made it so we are able to try to claw back this victory. Because an Su-17 against an F5 and an F-104A is a pretty tough fight, especially if you're not spaded. So right now we shoot quite a few rounds in the head-on, but I needed to kill him, and it does. F-104A down, and now it's 1v1 versus an F5C. Su-17 shoots his R60 at him, he narrowly dodges it, and even though this Su-17 is not actually killing anyone, this man won us the game. But we need to get ready here, because he's about to meet a very unfortunate fate, and then we will start a very, very long 1v1 with that F5, because it's very hard to kill him if he doesn't stall himself out. I need to worry about his missiles, and I want to get my missiles off the rails as well. I probably should have locked the flare right there just to get rid of it. Didn't manage to get a shot in there, and here we go. Look at that massive rubber band, and the Su-17 just completely explodes. Very unfortunate, he didn't deserve that at all. But thank you Toe69, thank you for your service, because you won us the game. F5 is quite a bit lower than us, and he doesn't have the most amount of energy, and I want to keep him that way, because the second that F5 goes up to speed, the second he starts going say 900 till 1000, his acceleration starts increasing. And right now I'm just trying to get my missiles off, trying to make him turn as much as possible, trying to keep him as slow as I can, because I do not want him to go to a high speed acceleration where the F5 almost gets 1-to-1 thrust to weight, and I just do not want that. So I'm gonna be running trains on this guy all day long, and with trains I mean I'm not able to turn. Look at this turn rate, I'm going 900 and I'm still barely turning around. I'm not even getting a G warning. Also make sure you don't need the best pilot, but man, this thing really just doesn't turn. And he's not flying towards the airfield, which is good, but I want to get these missiles off. I probably just should have shot it right there just to get it off. Again, I needed to get rid of that weight, but I was being way too conservative. But you know, easy to say in hindsight, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen right here, and I'm just waiting for him to shoot his missiles at me, because I'm not sure if he has any left. And you want to be careful with this stuff as well, because if you go straight up, if you try to hammerhead, or if you try to stall out, to do like a very, very slow turnaround at higher alt, what he can do is simply pitch up. Afterburner of this thing is so damn long that he can lock you from like 3 kilometers away. Missile will hit your plane, you are not dodging it, even though it's an A9E. Not worth it. So I'm not trying to stall myself out, and you'll see that the second he gets rid of his missiles, I will start flying very differently. So I'm just gonna be giving him my ass, in the hope that he shoots a missile. There it is, missile number 1. Not sure if he has a second one left, not sure if he shot it already, but I'm going to guess that he does have one. He's going to be outrunning this one. No use trying to outturn it when you can just outrun it. And that's the same way you deal with AIM-9Js. You just outrun them. We turn back in. 5 kilometers of separation is enough. We're not going to go head on with him. We're not going to be trying to actually fully commit. I'm just going to go to the side of him, hoping that he pitches up for me. And once he does, I'm going to be extending away again in the hope that he shoots another missile. You go right over the top of him. We drop back down. Notice that he's turning into me because he's very slow, and I'm going to be flying straight away from him to give him the idea of shooting a missile. And there it is. Missile number 2. And now I am completely certain that he's out of missiles, which means that I can start being a little bit more aggressive because he doesn't have the ability to just pitch up and shoot me down. I of course still need to be careful because it's an F5 and we are polar opposites to each other. I rely on power, straight line speed and acceleration. He relies on being slower, turning well and just having good stall control. So I do dictate this fight because of course speed is the main weapon of top tier. Problem is I can't really put that speed into practice because I just do not turn well enough to actually gun him down. Every time he runs away, he doesn't stick to a fight like this. If he doesn't come straight vertical for me here, if he doesn't stall himself out, it's very hard for me to actually come back down on him. And you can tell that the second he ran out of missiles, now I can just stay right above him because I'm not scared of him pitching straight up for me and shooting a missile at me anymore at 2 kilometers because he just can't do that. So we are turning back down and we are going to set up for train number 2, and this is going to be very boring because it's just repetition. It's just waiting for someone to mess up. I see that the F5 is coming back up, so I just deny him the head on because I just don't want to do it. And the power this thing puts out is absolutely insane. If this engine was on a frame like this kind of acceleration on a different frame, it would outpower almost everything. But we don't have that. I could have killed him there. Unfortunately enough, my aim wouldn't allow it. So we just reset. I'm still going 1000 kilometers an hour. And if I keep him into a fight like this, he will never be able to accelerate up to these speeds. So I can just safely go straight up. 7 minutes of fuel left and it's going to be burning quite rapidly. So we do the exact same thing. We go up and over and drop back on a 6. We're starting to descend. I notice that he's pitching up for me. I'm not gonna have any of that. I break off from the head on. We are going 1000 again. And look at the speed difference here. He's cutting me off and I'm still completely dusting him. So we go back up again, as you do in this plane. Of course, if there's multiple people around, you can't do this at all. And you are going to get third party, you are going to get slammed. If this was like a MiG-21 with missiles, you cannot do this. The second he runs out of missiles, you can do it. But you need to get to that stage. Unfortunately so, most planes have 4 missiles, or more even. Making it so that, well, it's hard to get rid of all of them. Get him again here, very close, miss him again. And we just break off again and go straight up. But we can tell that every time I do this, he is slower and slower because he doesn't have the ability to get his speed back up. And I'm still almost going that 1000 that I was. And I can try to extend away as far as I can. I can try to get as much separation in and use all my speed. But if I do that, we will reset every time. What I'm doing right now is slowly but surely getting more and more energy out of this plane until he's on the deck and not able to do anything anymore. We get him here, get a hit only. F5 damage model is fantastic, and we just go straight back up. And we are again going 1000 because we just came out of a dive and we have a bonkers acceleration. We go up and over yet again, getting a little bit extra distance in this time by just turning that extra little bit on the top of the loop, making it so that I can cut back in. Also be careful if someone turns directly under you. Chances are that you are going to land on. Right now just trying to get all the missiles off. Trying to get as slow as possible. Miss him again. 100 rounds left. Have to burn it back on. Lost 30 kilometers an hour in that dive. This thing loses almost no speed whatsoever. And that's mainly because it just doesn't turn at all. Now he's slow enough to where I'm confident that I can just sit on him. So we are going to throttle drop a little bit. We're going to be going a little bit slower, making it so that we have some more time to actually aim. Notice that he's too slow at this point to even pull up. We hit him with a missile, and that's going to be game. He is going to flat spin, and he is going to die. And here we are in the 9-7 to 10-7 match, and I'm expecting this thing to go to 10-7, maybe 11-0, but no matter, you fly this thing the same way in every tier you played it. Just a little bit more pronounced. So we shoot a missile, completely undeleted, it doesn't even track. No matter, because we got 6. Lock him again, J35, completely oblivious, turns last second, but at this altitude in a Draken, when you're going that speed, you are not going to be dodging it. Keep checking your surroundings because you don't want to get jumped at all. The second someone gets close to you, especially if they have good missiles, especially at 5 kilometers, you are just going to eat it. F-104, it's an F-104G, he eats missile number 2. And now there's a lot of guys on the deck, and I need to make sure that, well, we win the fight. A lot of Drakens, a lot of missiles flying around, there goes teammate 1, teammate 2, but we take down one of them. We got 3 kills, Razor and I, so the numbers are a little bit even, but now I need to make sure that I kill the right targets. And J35As are really a non-issue in this thing, because they don't have the missiles. And the Draken, the J35D, with the RB24Js, is extremely deadly, because it can whip around, shoot that missile at close range, as I mentioned earlier, and you have a hard time dodging it. Whereas the J35A is almost completely reliant on its guns. And the J35A, and I'm gonna be showing that very soon in an A5C video, is basically worth nothing if you can dodge his missiles. Spray him down, just too late, he just crit the F100. I didn't want to missile him because the F100 is also very, very hot, and I didn't want to team kill him. In hindsight, I maybe could have done it, but I'd rather save him than team kill him and then let the other guys survive as well. The missile might just go for the wrong target. And this is exactly what I meant. This is an A9B. I'm not worried about it. If that was an A9J, I very likely could have died right there, but it isn't. F-104 behind me, as well as Razor coming in, and I'm going to be switching targets. I don't need to 3v1 a Draken, and Razor just kills him in the head-on, so good thing I didn't. Extending back to the other fight, 2 Drakens yet again, and the J35As. And they're an absolute joke if you are on a plane with a good amount of power and a good amount of top speed. So we go head on. Starting to predict this turn, notice he's turning in, I'm not taking that at close range. I'll take a head on with a Draken any day of the week, just like this. I completely outranged them. Aidens do not go that far. We get a crit in, and we turn around to the main fight again. Everyone is on the left side, which is very handy. I'm gonna be turning into the Draken here. He's crit, he already loses a lot of speed and he wasn't that fast to begin with. So we're gonna push another head on, expecting him to turn in. He does so. We get another hit, but at this point I think he's essentially useless. He's not gonna be a threat anymore. I'm going to be ignoring him. He bails out, which is perfect. And now we are gonna go for the Harrier. It's a GL1, and if that guy gets a lock on you, you are going to you're gonna roll over and die. Not much you can do against the SRAM, and the problem with that is, if he comes head on, you have your afterburner on, he can lock you almost front aspect and you are not going to be dodging it. So if you go head on with a Harrier, turn your engine off, but my real piece of advice is, just don't go head on with him altogether. Go head on with the Draken, gun another one down, and that's going to be kill number 6. Just the Harrier left, he is completely crit. And the Harrier, it's kind of funny, because Harriers really struggle dodging missiles. Especially when they're crit, especially when they're not that fast, so we are just going to go up. I have 2 missiles left, which is 2 more than I need, but we are going to be using them. Area is slow, I want to get my 7th kill. We lock him up, we fire at 3.5 kilometers, he's going to be turning into it, he's way too hot, he is not going to be dodging that. And there he goes. Kill number 7, here's the rewards, pause it if you want, and we go to the next bit of gameplay. We are diving in. We don't need the afterburner, this is another 11.0 game. And we are just cruising, we don't need an afterburner, we're already going Mach 1.2. But now I see that they're putting themselves into a position where I might be able to get a kill or 2. So I want to get there as quickly as I can. And again, the Draken is going to take priority over a Viggen even for me. So he's gonna pull straight up, we launch a missile, he shouldn't be able to dodge that, missile coming down, kill, and we go for the MiG-23. MiG-23 is also pretty annoying, but it's nowhere near as big of a problem as that thing is. We shoot in the head on, we get a crit, we blow his wingtip off, and he's going to crash eventually, but he will. FG1 on us, and this is going to be a problem. We are not on a cold map, and those AIM-9Gs, they have a hell of a lot of range, so we need to be able to outrun these guys. So, what do? You turn a little bit at the start, you make it bleed speed, you make it lead the wrong way. There we go. There we go. Didn't reach us. We go back straight and we exit the area, and this is what this plane is good at. Draken got intercepted right behind us. If he didn't, might have been bad for us, but we are going very, very fast. He was still turning, and if I noticed that he wasn't breaking off, I would have started a very slight bank just to make it so that he gets the overload warning. Buys me a little bit of extra time, and then if he leads the missile, MAC-Gs or something, and shoots the missile that way, I can pull the other way and very likely outpull it. But in any case, I'd rather just not have someone fire a missile at me, because you're gonna have a hard time dodging it. We got two teammates coming in. There's already another teammate in the area. It's 3v2. I don't feel like I'm needed here, and I see that there's a fight going on in the middle of the map. There's three guys over there. MiG-23 actually crashes. Didn't expect that at the time. Now there's a Draken as well as a MiG-27. We lock him up. He's very, very hot, but he's turning in. No use shooting that missile. We shoot a little bit of the Vulcan. We miss, and we are on our merry way. I can't turn around anymore. I didn't expect that MiG-27 to come back in, but now it's a little bit of a bad spot, and I just need to exit. I just need to leave. So we are going to be flying straight here, and we are going to help out our MiG-21 as well as the F-4E. F-4E just burned up, and that MiG-21 is going to lose this fight, so I lock him up. Make sure that the MiG-21 is nowhere near the seeker head of that AIM-9J. Boom. Saved him, and now we turn around and go for the other guys. But as I'm thinking that, Razor kills the other guy, and now there's only a Vigan left, and that's the guy that I killed in the intro. And here we are again on a dust map this time, making this plane very, very ratty, because you are so damn fast. You come out of nowhere and you are gone before they even know you're there. Razor goes head on, slams the F5, and we turn around because we don't want to get someone coming out of the sun. There we go. I expected someone to come from there, and there he is. F5 shoots at us, we dodge it, and we are gonna go flying straight, because that's what we do. The F5 turns around, breaks off, and commits for the MiG-23. And I can do two things now. I can run away because I'm a plane that goes fast and I can support, but I can also just put the pressure on him right now, turn around as he's busy, and shoot him down as he's trying to shoot my friendly down. Because if I save this guy, effectively, I don't only kill him, but I also kill a teammate who can potentially kill more people. And as I say in China, arrivederci. And that's gonna be kill number one. Saved him, and we are gonna extend towards that part of the map, because Razor saw some dots, I saw some activity over there, neuron activation, and we try to get there as fast as we can. Razor guns down the Draken, goes along with the MiG-21, doesn't actually crit him, but at this point the game is essentially over. And this is just how you fly this thing. You fly in straight lines and you apply pressure. You also need your team to take pressure off you, because on your own you are going to be largely useless, as you saw with the F5C at the start. That's an F5C. Now imagine if you're fighting an F5E. You fight him the exact same way, but if he has the same funny idea why he keeps his speed and he doesn't shoot his missiles off, you are going to have a very bad time. But now we are hauling ass, we're going 1100 or Mach 1.12 actually, and we are going to be locking this guy up who's not really paying attention. We don't actually get the shot here. We can pull lead. I'm going too fast to deploy my flaps, which you can deploy at very high speeds. Here comes a Mirage, he's going to dump all of his speed. I'm not too worried about him. Drop back on top of the F4. That we just missed. Shoot a missile at him. He's going to be flaring. Does he dodge it? Yes, he does. But I paid for 750 rounds of ammo. I'm going to be using all 750 rounds of ammo. F4E down. And I thought Razor was going to be fine with him, but he overshoots. He doesn't get the shot because the Mirage just flew defensively just right enough to not fly through his Vulcan. And now he's in a very sticky spot because you are in front of a Mirage who potentially still has magics left. So what the Razor is going to do is try to get away from him. He's going to be pretty slow. But keep in mind, Magics don't care about your airspeed. And that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful. And I will see you all in the next one.